Conscious parenting is about reflecting on yourself and your role within the relationship you're having with your son, and noticing that mothering needs to shift from prep school to senior school. An empowered mom helps a boy psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually. Talking about moms that are solidly within their own energy and comfortable with their own strength. And a boy really benefits from a mom who's very clear about what she wants and what she doesn't want. Often amongst males, there's quite a competitive air that goes on. And the moment there's a competitive air, whether it's between father and son or boy and boy, going into a deep, meaningful, personal conversation becomes really difficult. If we can begin to drop from reaction to the next step being more responsive, and we're trying to move towards dialoguing, two-way conversation, we've got to move into being more able to listen, more able to self-regulate, so be able to calm our own panic or anxiety. So if something's being said to us, like, I'm not coming home this weekend, I'm going to stay at a friend, okay? And you want to rush up and all your anxiety is going, how do we move into a dialogue over something that's triggering us in this moment? Because if you're just reacting, you haven't even moved into empathy or understanding or listening, and you're just coming up with the same habitual response over and over. We've really got to take time to be curious and observe, what is it that my son really likes? Where does he get his happiness? What brings him joy? What makes him feel insecure and upset? And you begin to explore curiously, because how you knew him when he was 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, believe me, completely different character. Open mind, open heart, and then finally, open will. Now, open will is where you drop your own ambition and agenda. And it's quite a deep place to get to within ourselves, where we really can let go of what my assumption is, what I'm trying to achieve here, what my agenda is in this moment with you. What's it like trying to communicate with teenage boys?
It can be challenging and very fulfilling, actually. It can be very special. If you push a lot, they definitely don't want to communicate with you, as we found out in this course.
What I have learned from this course is to create that buffer zone, and then if one person is suffering, I will wait, maybe later and ask whoever I thought was being harassed, like, how do you feel? And then we can have that conversation about that. So it's a great tool for me, that tailoring the conversation and creating the buffer.
I think these courses help you. I think that if you can, like you said, go on the various things to make yourself stronger, like Layla said, or calmer, meditate, then to come in with the genuineness. If you really look into them and you really speak to them like that, they don't want to disappoint you, as we've discussed. They are just the most delightful, beautiful boys. And that image you gave us to take a photograph, and I think a good tool when we're finding it a bit tough with them, just to take a gorgeous photograph you've got of them on holiday or hugging the family, and you put it there, and you just think it's also worth it. And that really is the joy, I've got older children, and they just all get there, guys.
Alcoholism doesn't cause depression, but it makes depression worse. And almost all the suicides that we've seen seem to have a link with some form of substance abuse, because it creates an imbalance in the chemicals. Because if you're depressed, your chemicals, your neurotransmitters are already functioning in a different way.
So if you're depressed, you shouldn't use alcohol?
No, not at all. So that's one of the first things. Depressed or bipolar or any form of mental disorder, no alcohol or other drugs.
Yeah. Depression, people feel helpless. I always say, speak out, speak out. If you're suffering from it, where can we get help? What do you do if you know someone's depressed and they're seeking help?
I think one of the first things is people surrounding others who are down or sad or depressed. Don't be embarrassed to ask, are you feeling down? Are you feeling depressed? And also the big no-no is are you having suicidal thoughts? You must ask that. You know, are you feeling like life's not worth it? Are you feeling down? And if the person says yes, because most people who are feeling suicidal do want to reach out, they do want to solve it and sort it out, and they'd love that last lifeline, you know, before they try something really tragic.